FNAF characters are stupid. Even if they're supposed to be the good guys, they're idiots, and sometimes they're just as bad as the people they're trying to stop. So today, we're gonna look at some more of the twisted things the good people in this series have done. But also some William stuff, because you know he's gonna be on here, and other villains, but oh well, that's what we're exploring today, alright? Let's do it. In 10 fought Ennard. FNAF 5 and 6 had some serious changes between them. Baby went from being a part of Ennard to her own separate animatronic again, with seemingly no explanation. Well, no explanation if you're not really a FNAF fan, since we all know that the interaction that caused this unfortunate split actually took place within the source code of Scott Cawthon's websites, where the two, ScottGames.com and FNAFWorld.com, were actually arguing with each other, which resulted in Baby getting voted off the island. But honestly, thinking about it, this was a stupid idea. It seems like Molten Freddy is the one that's now controlling the Blob, since they're the face that the Blob prefers to use to jump scare the player and interact with Afton. But we also know that Molten Freddy is just the remains of Ennard after Baby got kicked out, hence why it dropped the whole clown aesthetic. It's also worth noting that Baby's face is also in the Blob, except it's missing its red eyes and the red lights in its eyes, alright? Meaning that the soul is probably not contained within the animatronic amalgam. So, if Baby had stayed a part of Ennard, she still might be fighting to this day. I mean, of course we can't be certain that she's not possessing something else, but we can't be sure that she is either. Plus, I mean, I feel like if you're combined with 5 other animatronics, you're gonna be stronger than if you're just alone. Power in numbers. In a 9, corrupt Funtime service. Now, while Gregory might be the culprit behind the FNAF security breach animatronics going haywire according to some theories, the corrupt animatronics from FNAF AR are an entirely different story. These are most likely caused by Vanny, as she was possibly trying to find a new host for Afton using the special delivery animatronics. However, when that didn't work out, she figured that she needed his old vessel to actually return to, which would explain her moving around. However, her corrupting these animatronics directly results in even more deaths at the hands of Fazbear Entertainment robots, which is a whole other issue that I don't understand how in their world hasn't been addressed yet, okay? Like, the cops investigating, or like someone hire a private investigator, please. For the love of God, someone has to be suspicious about what's going on here, right? Like, Fazbear Entertainment is sus as hell. They've clearly vented, but also this resulted in so many deaths, and multiple of my deaths. Well, I mean, like, if I had played FNAF AR, okay? The only way to win is not to play, so technically I won, but like, still, if I had played, it would have resulted in my death many times over. And it ain't scrapped. While she did end up fighting the rest of Ennard and then getting kicked out, resulting in the creation of Molten Freddy, Baby also ended up giving herself a bit of a makeover. You know, she had to build herself back up again, quite literally, or at least, I guess, give herself another shell, as well as seemingly another arm, since, you know, now she has a giant claw on her left arm. Okay? However, do you want to know something a little bit interesting, okay? According to the Freddy Files Updated Edition, the Bible of the FNAF franchise, basically, the claw on her left arm is the same one from her stomach, meaning that Elizabeth knowingly attached the claw that resulted in her death to her arm, and that's terrifying. Like, this chick is like, yeah, this thing killed me, so you know what, let's put it on my arm so I have better access to it, because, you know, maybe I might need to use it for whatever reason. God, this bitch laced up her sneakers, thought, oh, what if I need to kill someone today, and then thought, oh yeah, I should use the claw that actually killed me. Do you not realize how nuts that is? That's like, that's, bro. And it's 7 fun times. There's no doubting what you've achieved on a technical level. These are clearly state of the art. There are just certain design choices that were made for these robots that we don't fully understand. We were hoping that you could shed some light on those. She can dance, she can sing. She's equipped with a built-in helium tank for inflating balloons right at her fingertips. She can take song requests, so she can even dispense ice cream. With all due respect, those aren't the design choices we were curious about, Mr. Afton. This classic line of Afton being interrogated that plays the first time you open up Sister Location is definitely showcasing some stupid mistakes. Like, the cops know that what these animatronics are capable of and were designed to do, so they instantly end up being even more suspicious of him. And then they're going to be keeping an even closer eye on him, and then he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be sarcastic with them. Like, what? Like, this is probably why he starts dressing up in like the serial, like the Bonnie suit to start killing people, which ultimately ends up screwing him over. So yeah, you know what? Designing the Funtimes as killbots was definitely a horrible thing. Especially considering how, you know, one of them was meant to symbolize your dead wife. because that's a thing. I don't even want to know how you tried filling that one up with souls. That takes the definition of Funtime animatronic to a horrible level, and I don't want to deal with that. Not to mention, you know, the other one that killed your daughter. And at 6, trespassing. Okay, so while yes, he does break into the pizzaplex, Gregory also ends up trespassing the entirety of security breach. That's like literally the premise of this game. He has breached their security. Gregory is trapped in there after it is closed, but that also makes it trespassing. Like how you aren't supposed to stay overnight in a Walmart like people used to claim to be doing in YouTube videos. Yeah, even though they're locked inside, it's actually trespassing, okay? And this would be too. He gets told to leave multiple times, and the security guard is at least seemingly trying to help him get home, okay? So like, at least legally speaking, to the cameras and to any outsider, she would be helping or trying to. So assuming he ended up getting caught, he could be charged. Although with anything else that happened, I don't think that they'd actually end up charging him. But he also goes into restricted sections of the pizzaplex, like where we have to go to find the true ending, and then we also like where we have to go to after we crush Chica. So yeah, and no matter what way you try to slice it, he ends up trespassing at some point in this game, and that's pretty messed up, okay? Yeah. Halfway through into number 5, later that night. The Midnight Motorist minigame seems simple enough, but the true horror of this minigame comes from the implications of it. Since in the game files, the minigame is known as Later That Night. Most people akin this game to what happened after William kills Charlotte outside Fredbear's Family Diner in FNAF 2's Take Cake minigame, but if that is true, this is probably one of the scariest moments in FNAF history. This man just killed someone, but then goes home to his kids. He reprimands his son and potentially locks him in his room so much that he had to break his window to escape. Plus, think of all the people driving past him, unaware of the violent crime he had just committed. It's scary because this could be the case in the real world too. Technically speaking, anyone we encounter could be a serial killer, and that is a horrific thought since you're also only technically alive because everyone you've encountered has in a way chosen not to kill you, which only makes the whole anyone could be a serial killer thing even worse. I mean, that's just my paranoid brain, but that's fine. That's because of trauma. And in this case, this man has literally just killed someone, and then he comes home to his kids and starts yelling at his son who's been in his room all day. Like, god damn, bro, how much residual anger do you have? Therapy, Afton. Therapy. In at 4, taunting. Okay, now, being a killer is one thing, especially in a video game, but when you're so sadistic that you end up taunting the various characters or people that you intend on killing, that's when it ends up getting scary. And Vanny certainly does this, whether it's on her sound system, her popping up on the TV, or her joyfully skipping towards us until she's close enough to dash. She's playing with us, like we're a pet on a farm, before she ultimately puts us down so that the family can have dinner. Like, come on, there's no way that she's just like that, okay? Especially with Afton being the one who's controlling her, essentially, just making this another version of him. So yeah, her taunting us, her playing with her food is some of the freakiest crap in these games. Like, imagine if frickin' Ted Bundy or John Wayne Gacy was coming after you and they're just like skipping down the middle of the street while being like lit up by lampposts, okay? That's basically what this is. And actually, based on Supernatural's depiction, that's actually how John Wayne Gacy would have acted. But like, either way, this is still creepy as hell, okay? It's bad. No. Then it goes to the end into number 3, bullying. Okay, I'm not talking about what this specifically leads to, but actually like the tormenting of the younger brother, while common among siblings, especially in the media. This is still cruel. I mean even Roderick wouldn't have ripped the head off of one of Greg's plushies and used it to torment him. So yeah, the bullying here, Michael, definitely a damn shame. And honestly, the fact that William did nothing to reprimand his son for tormenting his other son only makes this worse, which caused Michael to then escalate, and eventually escalate so much that, well, we all know what happened. But even without that, brothers who torment their younger brothers like that are cruel. I mean, like, yeah, I was mean to my sister, but I didn't destroy her stuff so that I could use it as masks and then scare her even more, okay? And what? I'm sure that he doesn't just wear it to scare a crying child either. He probably just walks around with it to make him mad, since, you know, he's wearing the stuffed animal's face. And I wouldn't have put my sister in an animatronic mouth, okay? Like, I know that they're not gonna crush her skull, but like, I still wouldn't do it. But ultimately, Anna number 2 stored his daughter. While we know that Afton isn't the best father, I think it's something else to end up locking your robot possessed by the soul of your dead daughter into an animatronic testing facility. Like, that seems to be a bit too far if you ask for my humble opinion, but nevertheless, he did it, and that's what Sister Location's all about. William was like even the one who sent Michael down there in the first place, and then we get shoved full of Ennard bits so that they can escape, but like, did William know about that? Because like, in FNAF 6, Baby says that she's gonna make her dad proud, so like, was William's intention to send us down there so that Baby can get out? Because if that is the case, then why lock her down there in the first place, and then why send your son down there so that he can be gutted, shoved full of robot parts just so she can escape? While he's down there, he has to like keep zapping her and stuff, so like, why? Why would you do that? That seems like a stupid idea. God, this family is messed up. Let's move on. And finally, in number 1, the first victim. They say a killer's first victim is the most important, or at least that's what they said on CSI, since it usually indicates what got them to actually start killing or other psychological clues that could be used to predict their next moves. But in the case of William Afton, his first victim was the daughter of his longtime business partner Henry, which is hella messed up because she was 3 at the time, that time being 1983. And this was the year that Afton's life starts going downhill in the worst ways possible, but he started killing off kids, and then he sticks with that MO throughout the rest of his criminal career. And this is before his kids die too. But the fact that his first victim was someone who trusted him, but who didn't like exactly suspect him, even though her father did, okay, that's something that I fear. I'm not a parent, okay, so I can only imagine how this must have felt. And if that was me, I would be doing a lot more than burning down restaurants in an attempt to put William down, alright? I'd be there doing it myself. Especially if he had killed my daughter when she was 3 years old, okay? Like, I can feel the rage brewing inside me, and I don't even have someone that I could have a daughter with. So, Afton, you got lucky. That's a villain origin story if I've ever heard one, bro. That's all the time we have for today, friends. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been in Shower Main Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video, unless the cops finally start looking at these videos. However, do you want to know something a little bit interesting, okay? Excuse me again, Christ, I need to stop drinking things before I film. Therapy, Afton, therapy. I say that, but I have not gone to therapy yet. You definitely should.